So yeah, no, I think that's a great option. Also, one thing we had talked about at the beginning was townhomes. One thing we should definitely be talking about with our clients, you as a realtor and me as a loan officer, is hey, there are plenty of townhomes that fit in this criteria for
Exactly.
both scenarios. So that opens more doors, especially if you're a newlywed couple, if you're a single person and you're trying to buy your first home. These townhouses are a lot more affordable and you can live in them and then build that equity up. And let's say you want to keep it as a rental property later. Hey, let's get you in there.
Exactly.
All right.
Lots of good options for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this next section, what we'll do is we'll go through sort of what the market is doing. These numbers are last month's numbers. We haven't come out with this coming month's numbers yet for April, but we're recording this as of the 2nd of May.
Yep.
So we're still waiting on the April numbers. Those won't come out for another week or so, but we'll walk through what the market's been doing historically, and then I'll have some infographics and a little presentation on townhomes in particular, which we've touched on.
Yeah, awesome. I think, going through what the market's doing right now so everybody understands, but, we want to make sure that we're not trying to kill you with walls of text and with
walls of numbers.
And walls of numbers, exactly, and graphs that you don't understand. I think the big thing is we're trying to explain, hey, there is improvement in the market. There are plenty of homes out there to purchase, and it's a buyer's market right now. Despite what some may think, it's a buyer's market because though rates are higher, homes are sitting on the market longer than what we have seen in the past 2 or 3 years.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely.
Starting to get back up to those historic levels of what is considered a normal market. I would say this is probably the first year in the past 5 that we've seen a normal, stable real estate market.
Yeah, and that's exciting. I think we're going to be on to definitely an interesting 2025 into 2026. If rates continue to come down, I know there's a bit of bouncing back and forth between higher and lower rates. And when we're talking lower rates, we're talking about 6.25. Hoping for 5s by the end of the year would be amazing. But yeah, I think as the supply continues to increase with the new construction out there and people who are locked in at those 3% mortgage rates, being able to digest, hey, okay, I can afford a 5% rate instead of 7. Okay, because that's a considerable difference between 7 to 3%.
More than double.
Yeah, exactly. So, I know you had a lot of information that you wanted to talk about. So, what are you seeing on the listing side as in volume that's really just been increased percentage-wise so people can understand what that means?
So a lot of our listing volume is active listings. You have a lot of pre-existing listings that roll over from the month. And this listing volume is taken as a snapshot one day at a specific hour. I think it is noon on the 15th of every month. And you look at how the listing volume tracks, and that sort of tells you what the supply is looking like. So we have a graph on the screen, and for those who are listening, our new listings, they come in and they add on top of the pre-existing listings, and that's how we get our total active listings volume. Right now our active listing volume is sitting just below 5,000, and that is an increase from January, February, where we were at our lowest point for the start of the year. That's pretty normal for the real estate market, considering that the holidays is not the time that people want to be moving. So you see people coming down and taking their homes off the market. You see a lot of the homes that were already on the market selling. And then as we go into the spring season, this is really the prime time for buying and selling a home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is traditionally the spring and summer are the busy times for our industry.
Exactly.
And what's been exciting, like you said, like we were both talking about earlier, is things are starting to normalize. And if things normalize with the supply as well as with the rates, then we're going to be in a good spot